Good day, I am Mary Grace Bernanti Valiente from Hingaw City Colleges, a first-year student from BS Criminology, and I am here to do my report about pavement markings and markers. So, there are types of pavement markings. Pavement markings are used to convey messages to each roadway users. So, these pavement markings are also known as road markings. Ginatawag na siya sa uban nga road markings. From the word itself, to convey messages. So, it provides information to each driver to know what are the things they need to do depending on the situation. So, kani pong pavement markings, they are made to maintain orders on the road. So, if you are a legal driver's license holder, then you are expected that you already know what are the traffic signs and the pavement markings. So, that is pavement markings. Number 2 is curb markings for restriction. So, this curb markings for restriction, ano ni siya, a certain restriction ni siya like parking restriction or regulations of the road policies by making traffic signals. So, these are made also for the purpose of traffic signals, parking meters, street markings, and signs to manage the road appropriately. So there are types of curb markings for restriction. Number 1 is yellow curb markings. So, kaning yellow curb markings, nag-indicate ni siya nga only maghunong lang ang isa ka driver for the purpose of loading and unloading of the passengers. So, kato mga driver, in that certain yellow curb, dira lang sila maghunong for the purpose of loading and unloading sa ilahang mga pasahero. So, that's the indication of yellow curb. Next is white curb markings. So, white curb markings, stopping only for loading or depositing mail in an adjacent mailbox. So, kaning types of curb markings, ma-apply ni siya between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. But, except siya sa holidays and Sundays. So, ma-apply ni siya except holidays and Sundays, kaning certain white curb markings. Next is green curb markings. So, these green curb markings, parking limited to a time from 10 to 30 minutes by the traffic officer for a certain location. So, kaning green curb markings, it can also be used for student loading zones if accompanied by the appropriate signs. So, kanina ko ng green curb markings, ginalimitahan lang sa pagparking in a certain locations, just like sa student loading zones. So, ginalimit lang ang pagparking from 10 to 30 minutes by the traffic officer. Next is red curb markings. So, these red curb markings, no operator shall stop or park for any purpose at any time, except that bus may stop in a red zone marked or sign posted. So, that indicates the red curb markings. Lastly, the blue curb markings. These blue curb markings are parkings for the disabled only. So, dapat ang motorista, they must have their own disabled persons parking placard nga nakahang sa ilahang rear view mirror nga naka-indicate for disabled persons. So, that's the blue curb markings for disabled only. Ang isa ka driver makapark lang in that certain area for the purpose of disabled persons. So, next is object markings. So, these object markings are applied to traffic islands, culverts, headwalls, piers, abutments, and etc. So these curb markings are physical obstruction. When we say physical obstruction, mo ni siya ang mga sagabal na naa sa dalan on or near Broadway which are hazardous marked. So these culvert, piers, abutments, they have the same structure. Only lang nag-differ sila sa ilahang mga sign-posted or sa mga markings. So next is reflectories markings. These certain markings guide the drivers for safe during night driving. So this reflectories marking is very important when it comes to helping drivers follow the road markings clearly in the dark. So these reflectories markings usually makita ni sa every night for the purpose of nga maklaro sa mga drivers ang dalan. So mag-reflect na siya if ever nga ma-reflect po sa suga. So that's the types of pavement markings. So let's move on to the different lines of the pavement markings. So first, single white dotted line. So kaning single white dotted line, this denotes the center of a two-lane road. It is a reminder that a driver need to stay in his or her lane. Straddling the lane is illegal and punishable under the law. Kani pong single white dotted line, it indicates nga it is legal to cross when overtaking or changing lanes. So that's the single white dotted line. So next is white continuous line. So kaning white continuous line, this is often used to divide a traffic on a two-way multi-lane road. Also, if you are a driver, you are discouraged from overtaking unless the way is absolutely clear. So dili ka dani daw pwede maka-overtake unless ang dalan is walay mga naglabay-labay nga mga sakyanan or clear ang dalan. Next is double yellow lane. Double yellow lane indicates that it is also not safe to overtake at any time. So prohibited ang pag-overtake diri sa double yellow lane. It is also found around blind curves or in areas where fast-moving two-way traffic meets on an undivided road. So usually, makita po din natong double yellow lane sa kaning mga bridge sa tulay. So bridge usahay pod sa kaning kurbada. Usually makita din nato ang kaning double yellow lane for the purpose of no overtaking. So ginaprohibit ang pag-overtake and it is not very safe nga ang isa ka driver mag-overtake. So there might be an accident nga ilahang na-met. Next is single yellow line. Single yellow line means that you cannot overtake if the solid is in your side. So dili gihapon maka-overtake. This is a single yellow line. It also indicates that traffic on the solid yellow side cannot cross lanes, while traffic on the other may do so if the way is clear. So dili gihapon ka maka-overtake, there is a single yellow lane. Next is single continuous line. So kaning single continuous line, commonly usually makita gini nato siya sa mga mountain roads. Like na mga heavy trucks nga magbiyahe like mga 10-wheelers, mga bus. So heavy trucks or buses should always use the outer lane. And overtaking in the inner lane is forbidden, especially vehicles coming from the opposite. So this dili gihapon nga line forbidden or prohibited gihapon ang strictly prohibited gihapon ang pag-overtake, especially nga ang dalan gikan sa opposite nga direction. So crosswalk or pedestrian lane. So mag-stop ang isa ka certain driver for pedestrian lane on an intersection with no traffic lights. So do not stop on pedestrian lane, especially to load or unload passengers. So, like, ikaw, isa ka driver, dili gid ka pwede maghunong sa isa ka pedestrian lane if magkuan lang pud ka, mag-unload o mag-load o passengers. So, gina-prohibit na siya sa pedestrian lane. Kaya ang kanang pedestrian lane, kuan lang na siya for the purpose of crossing sa certain people. So, labanganan lang na siya. Dili na siya unloading and loading areas of passengers. According to my research, if ikaw isa ka certain driver, guilty ka sa isa ka, let's say, you are guilty of reckless driving. Nabanggaan nimo ang isa ka tao nga naglabang sa pedestrian lane nga ang traffic light is nag-indicate nga mag-cross na ang mga citizen. So, naa kay penalty nga first conviction is 2,000 and then second conviction is 3,000 and then the subsequent of that certain penalty is 10,000 pesos. And lastly, directional arrows. Directional arrows, they indicate which directions you are allowed to go within a lane. So, from the word itself, directional, direction, naka-indicate na siya nga asa ka pwede padulong. Ikaw nga certain driver kung asa ka pwede padulong. Kung ang arrow nag-indicate nga sa right, so dapat sa right lang gid ka mo padulong. But then, if the arrow points to a straight line and to the right lane, then you can go to the straight or to the right. Pwede ka maka-straight lane or pwede ka maka-right. If ignoring these arrows might just get you a ticket or worse, get you into an accident. So it is very important to follow directional arrows. Kay nga naman, kay para makalikay ta sa aksidente. And then for safe driving also. And dili ta matikitan, kay wala tay kwartang ipangbayad. So that would be all. That's my topic, which tackles about pavement markings and markers. I hope that I discussed it precisely and that according to my knowledge that I get. So that would be all and have a good day, sir. Thank you.